Hi everyone and welcome to chapter 9. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about mechanics of option market. So what is a call option, how it is traded, what are the different positions you can take, what is the profit chart of a call option, profit chart of a put option, and so on and so forth. Okay, so before we do that, let us recap whatever we have discussed in chapter 1. Okay, so options are divided into call option and put option. Now again, call option can be of two types, American or European, and put option can also be of two types, American or European. So American option gives you exercise right any time before maturity. American option gives you exercise right any time before maturity. So a call option can be American, which gives it exercise right any time before maturity, or it can be European. European means you can exercise only on the day of maturity. So when the option is going to expire, so on the expiry date, only then you can exercise the option. You cannot exercise the option before that. So options are of two types. American, you can exercise before maturity, and European, you can exercise on the maturity date. You cannot exercise before that. Now, there are four positions you can take. You can buy a call option, you can write a call option, you can buy a put option, or you can write a put option. Okay, so these are the four positions you can take. You can be a call option buyer, you can be a call option writer, you can be a put option buyer, and you can be a put option writer. So let's discuss one by one. So let's say I'm a call option buyer. What do I get? So I get right to buy at strike price. So whatever is the strike price mentioned, right? I get the right to buy the security. So let's say it's a stock. So I get right to buy the stock at the mentioned strike price. For getting this right, I have to pay premium. So call option buyer pays premium. Now, when do I make profit? So I make profit if the price is above strike price. So whatever strike price is mentioned in the option, I will start making money if the stock price is above the strike price. What is my break even? What is break even? Break even is zero profit, zero loss. So beyond which point I'll start actually pocketing money into my pocket. So what is my break even? So break even in a call option for a call option buyer is strike price plus premium. So strike price plus premium is the break even amount. Beyond that, I'll start making money. Okay. So let's say you're buying a Tesla call option and the exercise price or the strike price is 500 and the premium is $2. So $502 is the break even point. What is the maximum loss you will suffer if you're a call option buyer? Maximum loss is premium amount. You cannot lose more than the premium amount if you're a call option buyer. How much profit do you make in a call option? So profit is, if the price is going up, you will start making profit. But how much profit? So profit is stock price, whatever is the stock price, minus the strike price. Strike price is also exercise price. So stock price minus strike price minus the premium paid. So this will give you the profit amount in a call option. Is any margin required if you're a call option buyer? So answer is no. There is no margin required if you're a call option buyer. Now what happens if you're a call option writer? So call option writer gets obligation to sell when the buyer exercises. He gets the obligation to sell when the buyer exercises. Call option writer receives premium. So if you're a call option writer, you get premium. Profit is if price is at or below the strike price. If the stock price is at or below the strike price, you will start making money. Break even is not material because maximum profit as a writer you can make is the premium amount. So break even is not a factor. How much loss can you suffer? So loss that you can suffer is stock price minus strike price. So if the stock price starts going up, you start making losses as a call option writer. So how much loss can you suffer? Stock price minus strike price minus the premium. Whatever premium you have got, you will have that as a, so you don't have to return it back. So that will be reduction from the loss you make. Maximum profit you can make is the premium amount. You cannot profit more than the premium amount if you're a writer. Margins are required if you're writing an option, because then you have an obligation. So you are required to post margins. Now other side of the game. So if you're a put option buyer, you get right to sell, but no obligation to do it. So I'll just hide this so that we can discuss. So put option buyer gets right to sell. Put option buyer pays right to sell at a particular strike price. Whatever is the strike price mentioned, you get the right to sell at that strike price. You pay premium as a put option buyer, you pay premium to get that right. You make profit if price is at or below the strike price. So basically profit is below the strike price. What is the break even price for you? So break even is strike price minus the premium amount. So if it goes below that, you will start making money. Maximum loss is the premium amount paid. So you're a buyer. So buyer of a put option, maximum loss suffered is premium amount paid. Profit is strike price minus the stock price. So how much it has fallen minus the premium amount, because premium once paid is not returned to you. Do you require any margin to trade in put options? So answer is no. You don't require any margin to trade in put options. As a put option writer, you have obligation to buy if the put option buyer exercises. You receive premium, so you get premium if you are a put option writer. You make profit if price is at or above the strike price. So if stock price is going above or it has remained constant, then you make profit. Break even is not a factor, because maximum profit a writer makes is the premium amount. Loss, maximum loss you can suffer is strike price minus the stock price. So whatever the stock has fallen minus the premium amount, because premium you have received. Profit, maximum profit is the premium paid. And margins are required if you are a put option writer. So having this background, let's discuss few things. So let's take an example of, let's say, Tesla, and calculate profit and loss for put option, for call option, for call option buyer, call option writer, put option buyer, put option writer. So few things are given to you. So let's say you're looking at a Tesla stock price. So current stock price of Tesla, assume it is $420. Okay. You are looking at a call option having strike price of 430 and premium of, let's say, $5. Premium of $5. Okay. So you have to create, so you are a call option buyer. So first situation, you are a call option buyer. So what will be your profit and loss for given stock price? So on next, let's assume it's an European option. European option, the exercise is on the last date. So what would be your profit and loss given these stock prices? So stock prices on expiry. So let's start with $380. So let's 381. So let's look at increments of $1 and let's go to 450. So these are stock prices on expiry. So what is your break-even price? Let's calculate the break-even price first. Break-even is beyond this price you will start making money. Break-even is always strike price plus premium. Break-even is always strike price plus premium. So what is your profit? How do you calculate profit? So profit or loss, how to do that? So profit or loss is max function. Okay, what is the maximum loss you will suffer on this contract? So it is -5, that is $5. Okay, and what is the profit actually you can make on this contract? So profit that you make is stock price minus strike price minus premium. Okay, so we, for calculating profit and loss on a call option, we always use max function, because maximum loss you can suffer is $5. You cannot have a loss more than that. Okay, and actual profit will be 380, right? Whatever is the stock price on expiry minus the strike price minus the loss amount minus the premium amount. Okay, so it's -$5, -$5. So maximum loss is -$5, right? Break even price was 350. Oh, I have to make certain things constant. So this keeps on changing. This is constant and this is constant. That's why it was not able to do. So it will be -$5, right? It will start reducing and it will be 0 at 435, because 435 is your break-even price. So this function you have to remember. So profit or loss for a call contract, profit or loss for a call contract is -5, and -5 is the maximum loss, right? And B20, that is stock price minus strike price minus premium amount. So we did that. So if you keep on dragging till 450, so this will be your profit and loss for different strike prices. So if the stock is 440, you will have a $5 profit. If the stock is 450, you will have a $15 profit. Okay, option contracts are traded in size of 100 contract. So this contract size is 100 stocks. So 100 stocks and multiples of that. Okay, so if you draw a chart, stock price of expiry and profit and loss, if you draw a line chart, okay, only one profit and loss. So if you draw a line chart, so it looks something like this. Okay, beyond the break-even price you start making money. Maximum loss you suffer is -5. Maximum profit, as the stock price keeps on growing, you'll keep on making money. So this is how to construct a chart for a call option buy. Okay, so call option buy, this is how you construct it. You have to remember this function. Maximum minus 5, that is loss, right? Stock price S minus X, strike price minus the premium amount. So let's see what will be profit and loss for a call option writer. So that was a call option buyer. What will be profit and loss for a call option writer? So Tesla's current stock price is 420, call option strike price is 430, premium is $5, and you are a call option writer. Okay. So let's create that again. So assume that on expiry stock price is known. And these are the expiry stock prices. So what will be your profit and loss? Profit and loss for you will be maximum profit that a writer can make is $5. That is the premium amount. Maximum loss he can suffer is you have to do a min function. Minimum of 5, because otherwise the loss value would not be shown, and stock price, exercise price, opposite of that. So it should be max only, and it's the same thing except it is a negative sign. Maximum -5 comma strike price minus stock price minus exercise price minus the premium. So same thing as call option except it has a negative sign. So it's exactly the reverse of call option. So $5 profit if stock price is 380, and you will start incurring, I have to make things constant. This is constant, this is constant, then I can drag it. So $5 you will keep on making profit until the break-even point hits. After the break-even points, you will start incurring losses. So if you draw a chart of that, so this is your profit, this is the profit range. If the stock price crashes below this, then you will start having losses. You'll start making losses, okay, below the break-even point. Break-even is 435. Now let's look at put option buyer. So assume you're looking at Intel stock. Intel stock is $50. Current stock price. You're looking at exercise price of 45 and premium is $2. Premium is $2. Exercise price 45. So let's say this is we are looking at put now. So your put option buyer. You're a put option buyer. So what will be your, if stock price on expiry is as follows, what will be your profit and loss? What will be your profit and loss? So how to do that? So let's assume it starts with $30. We are looking from 30. You're a put option buyer and we are looking till 55. As a put option buyer, the maximum loss you suffer is premium amount, that is $2. So max function -2, and your profit or loss from the contract is exercise price minus stock price minus premium. Exercise price minus stock price minus premium. So stock price keeps on changing, exercise price is constant and premium is constant. Okay. So $13 profit if the stock tanks to $30, and maximum loss if it starts rising is $2. So this is the profit and loss chart. We didn't calculate break-even price. Break-even price for a put option is exercise price minus premium. So $43 is the break-even price. And you can see that at $43, the profit and loss is 0. Okay. Now if you draw a chart, so chart looks something like this. Maximum loss you suffer is -2. You'll start making money if the stock price starts falling. So as the stock price falls, you will start making money. So this is the profit and loss chart for put option buyer. So for put option writer, if you're a writer, the function is negative max -2 and strike price minus stock price. Strike price is constant, so I'm making strike price minus stock price minus premium. So same as buyer except the negative sign. So $13 loss for writer and maximum profit $2. So maximum money you can make is $2. Maximum loss, to make this constant too. Okay, maximum money you can make is $2. Maximum, as the stock price keeps on falling, will keep on making losses as a writer. So if you draw a chart, this would be your chart. So pause this video, go back again and practice doing this on your own on an Excel file. Drawing the chart as well as calculating profit and loss and calculating break even. So there is one more concept that we have to discuss, that is intrinsic value. So intrinsic value is nothing but how much profit or loss you are making ignoring the premiums. So there is intrinsic value for call, there is intrinsic value for put. So intrinsic value is maximum. How much can you lose? Premium amount. So whatever is the premium amount, that is 0. So ignore the premium. So we are ignoring it. Maximum 0. Stock price minus exercise price, or also known as strike price. This is the intrinsic value for a call option. Maximum of 0 and strike price minus stock price minus strike price. For put option it is maximum 0, strike price minus stock price. So in this chapter you would be required to use this formula. So you have to remember intrinsic value for a call option, maximum 0, stock minus strike. So whatever is the current stock price minus the exercise price. For put it is exercise price minus the stock price. Okay, so with this background, let's cover the PowerPoints. So types of option: call option is an option to buy at a specific strike price. Put option is option to sell at a specific stock price. European option can be exercised only on the expiry date, on the last date. It gives you a right only to exercise at that point. An American option can be exercised at any time before the expiry. Most options are American style. There are only few European options and mostly index, but that too limited. So option positions you can take: you can go long on a call, that is you can buy a call, you can buy a put, you can short or write a call, or you can short or write a put. So for a long call, we discussed this. So maximum loss you suffer is the premium amount. Profit, you start making profit when the price is above break-even price. Okay. For short call, maximum profit you make is the premium amount. You start losing money beyond the break-even price. For long put, maximum loss you suffer is the premium, and you start making money if the stock price starts falling. We created this chart, okay, on Excel. For short put, maximum profit you make is the premium amount, and you start losing money if the stock price starts falling. So these are the payoffs from option. Call option pays you money if it is above break even. Then this is payoff from call option writer. For a call option writer, it pays you until the break even price is breached, so on and so forth. So options can be on stocks. So we discussed Tesla and Intel. So these are stock options. So it depends on wherever the expiry of stock option happens. It can be on exchange traded funds. So exchange traded funds means mostly indexes. So if you see VOO, it's an exchange traded fund on S&P 500 by Vanguard. So you have call and put options on that too. You can have call options on foreign currencies, like call options on American dollars, call options on Canadian dollars, etc. It can be based on stock indexes, so S&P 500, TSX 60, and it can be based on future contracts. Okay, so underlying can be stocks, exchange traded funds, foreign currencies, stocks, indices, or futures. Now, in a call option, these are important terms. So expiry date is the date on which the contract is closing. Expiry date is date on which the contract is closing. Generally is the last Friday of the month. It is generally last Friday of the month. And you can buy call options like into the future. So you can buy call options even, this is the month of October. You can even buy call options for next October. But expiry would happen on the last Friday. Strike price is the exercise price, whatever is the exercise price of option. So if you go to live markets, there are series of exercises prices, strike prices you can choose from. Options can be European or American. Most options are American, right? Barring few who are European. European option expiry only happens on so exercise rights are there only on expiry. For American options, you can exercise any time before expiry. You can have call options or put options. Call options gives you right to buy. Put option gives you right to sell. Now, in the money, out of the money, and at the money are different terms of call option. So if you are making profit on any strike price, if the strike price is already in profit, it is called in the money. So if strike price is already at profit, it is called as in the money. It means the intrinsic value is positive. So if the intrinsic value that we saw, the formula for that, so if this intrinsic value is positive, if intrinsic value is positive for call or put, then the option is said to be in the money. Okay, if the intrinsic value is positive, it is an in the money option. If intrinsic value is 0, it is at the money option. So if you're not making any profit or loss, it's at break even point, the options are said to be at the money. And if options are in losses, so you are not making any money right now on those options, then they are called as out of the money options. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll show you option series and then we'll discuss. So I'll open an option series and I'll show you how it works. So I've opened Tesla, right? Since we were discussing Tesla, the current stock price is 424. So all option strike prices below the current price, all option strike prices. If it is a call option, so we are looking at calls, then we'll look at puts. All call options that are below this strike price, all call options below this stock price. So 424 is the stock price. So 424 will be somewhat here, 424. So all these options that are below are in the money call options. For call, all options below the current stock price are in the money because you're already making money on them. The stock price is higher than them. All options above the current stock price are out of the money. So there is a option for $800. So this option is out of the money, right? So premiums are high on in the money call option. So more in the money the option is, higher would be the premium, and premiums are low for out of the money call options. So for call options, 424 is the current stock price. Anything below this stock price, all options below this stock price are in the money. All options above this stock price are out of the money. And whatever is trading very close to it, these are at the money options. Okay. For put option, it's reverse. All options that are below the current stock price, for put option, all options that are below the current stock price are out of the money. So these are out of the money options. Okay, because they are below the current stock price. All options above the current stock price, put options, are in the money. So this is the current stock price. These are calls, these are puts. So for call options, in the money call options, out of the money call options. For puts, out of the money call options, in the money call options. So highlighted area is in the money. So you have to remember that. Okay. So there are different terms like option class, which class of options they are. They are on stocks, they are on indexes, they are on currencies. Are they call options? Are they put option? Then there are series. Series means this is an October series. So you can choose different expiry. This is an October series. So you can have November series, December series. In January 2020 and 2021, you can have Jan, Feb, March, and so on and so forth. Okay. So different month series options are available. Intrinsic value we have already discussed. For call option, there is a formula. For put option, there is a formula. Time value is if the option premium is above intrinsic value. If the option premium is above intrinsic value, then there is a time element involved. So that is the time value. So I'll write down the formula for it. So total option price equals intrinsic value plus time value. Okay. total option price equals intrinsic value plus time value. So time value equals total option price minus intrinsic value. Okay, total option price minus intrinsic value. So these are the option prices. So if option prices is above intrinsic value, then so these are the option ask and bid prices. So if you look at a call option for let's say 430, so it is 50 and 51. So last traded price is 50.18. So this is the option premium, right? So if option premium, you have to calculate the intrinsic value for this. Intrinsic value will be stock price minus exercise price. So whatever is the intrinsic value, if the current premium is above that, then there is time element involved. Okay. Then there are different types of options. Like these are additional options that the exchange provides. So flex option means that it is like an over the counter option. So the number of contracts are flexed, the time of expiry is flexed. So it's not standardized. So it's a little bit like a customized option. Binary options are interesting. Binary options means you either get paid or you get zero, right? So it doesn't have like in the Excel sheet that we discussed. So if you are looking at a call or normal call option, so normal call option, we discussed that profits has a range, but binary options are not like that. So binary option on Tesla would be if Tesla goes above, let's say 435, which was our strike price, 435, which was our strike price, it pays you $10. Okay, otherwise it pays you zero. So binary is either you get paid zero or you get paid a fixed amount. Okay. I used to trade a lot in binary options. It's very addictive. So binary options, zero or a fixed amount. The amount doesn't range. So if it closes above a certain price, you get paid a fixed amount. Credit event binary options, these are like contracts, insurance contracts on certain companies. So if the company defaults, they pay. If the company doesn't default, you don't get paid. So they are like insurance contracts. Dooms options are extreme out of money options, right, which are very unlikely. So doom options are like if you buy a doom option on Microsoft, what are you betting for? You're betting for Microsoft going bankrupt. So it pays handsomely, like payouts will be 10,000 times, 20,000 times, but the likelihood of that event is very low. Now, what happens to option premiums or option prices when a dividend or stock split happens? So normal dividend, the option prices are not adjusted. So whenever a stock pays any dividend, the stock price goes down, but option prices are not adjusted based on that. So you will suffer a loss, right? Extra dividends or special dividends are factored in. So if the dividend amount is too large, then exchanges factor that dividend. Otherwise, the dividends are ignored. But stock splits are considered. So whenever a stock splits happen, the strike price changes too. So Tesla had a split. So 5:1 split, right? 1:5 split. So one stock of Tesla splitted into 5 stocks of Tesla. So if a split occurs, the option strike prices also changes. So the exchange will change the option strike price. So consider a call option. So $20 per share is there. 2 for 1 stock price. So what will happen to the stock? What will happen to the exercise price? So if what is happening, this $20 share is getting divided into 2 stocks. So $10 per share. So the corresponding exercise price will also change. But when dividend is there, normal cash dividend is there, change will not occur. So I'll go to Excel and explain it. So there are three things that can happen. There can be a cash dividend. So normal cash dividend, no adjustment. Okay. Special cash dividend, like the dividend is significant portion of the stock amount, then there is adjustment. Stock dividends, there is adjustment. And stock splits or consolidations, there is adjustment. So the strike price and the premium changes, right, when there is a special dividend, when there is a stock dividend, or when there is a stock split. Okay, and correspondingly. So example, if one stock gets divided into two, one option will also get divided into two. So the strike price will reduce, means will half, and the premiums will change by will half too. Okay. So there are market makers in an option contract. Most exchanges use market makers to facilitate option trading. A market maker is someone like a dealer. So he holds inventory. So he facilitates option trading. So they offer bid and ask. The difference between bid and ask price is market maker's money. The market maker does not know whether the individual requesting the quotes wants to buy or sell. Margins are required whenever you write options. So margin is required when options are sold. When a naked options means you do not have any other position, but you're straight away writing an option. There are other positions that you can have. You can have a covered call. You can have a cash protected put. In that case, the margin amount are different. But if it is a naked, like you're not having any positions, but you're writing options, then margin amount is required. So what is the margin amount that would be required? So it will be 100% of premium plus 20% of stock. So maximum of 2, right? So I'll write it down. So the premium amount or the margin amount will be max of 100% premium plus 20% stock price minus out of moneyness. Okay. So 100% premium plus 20% stock price minus how much out of money the option is, right? That is the first. Second is 100% premium plus 10% stock price. If it is a call, or 10%, so this was for a call, or 10% of exercise price if it is a put. So this margin you have to deposit 100% of premium plus 20% stock price minus how much out of money the option is, or 100% premium plus 10% stock price for a call option, or 100% premium plus 10% of exercise price for put options. Okay. Now there are special categories of options that even the company, so all the options like call options and put options, these are created by exchanges. These are created by investors, right? Traders. They are not created by companies, but there are certain options that are created by companies. So first type of that is warrants. Warrants are options that are issued by a company or a financial institution. The number of warrants outstanding is determined by size of the original issue and changes only when they are exercised when they expire. So warrants are like call option. But if the price is hit, then company issues stock. Instead of investor giving that stock to you, the company will issue stock to you. Warrants are generally combined with bonds to make the bonds more attractive. The issuer settles up with the holder when warrant is exercised. When call warrants are issued by a corporation on its own stock, exercise will usually lead to new treasury stock being issued. Employee stock option. Employee stock option is again like a call option. So it gives you a right to buy a stock at certain price, and these are generally given to employees to make them interested or more invested in the business. They are usually at the money when they are issued. When options are exercised, the company issues more stocks and sells it to option holder for strike price. They are expensed on income statement. Then there are convertible bonds. Convertible bonds are regular bonds that can be exchanged for equity at certain time in future according to a predetermined exchange ratio. So these are bonds that can be converted for stocks. Usually a convertible is callable. The call provision is a way in which the issuer can force conversion at a time earlier than the holder might choose. So this was chapter 9, mechanics of different options. So thank you, and we'll see each other in the next chapter.